Welcome and let your journey to soul expansion begin. I'm your host, Kristen Kaczynski. This show will take you on a journey of expansion, encouraging you to release the limitations of your mind and lean into the wisdom of your soul. Remembering who you are on a soul level will help you release your conditioning, expectations, limiting beliefs, fears, and worries, and evoke a life expanded by your energetic alignment. Whether you're an entrepreneur who wants to grow your income and impact, or someone who knows in your heart of hearts that you're made for more, this podcast will help you awaken the power that's already inside of you, allowing you to attract an easy flow of money, clients, opportunities, and fulfillment. In each episode, you'll learn something new, expand your consciousness, and you'll walk away with a glimpse of what's truly possible for you. If you're ready to follow your soul's calling and live a more expansive life, you're in the right place. Welcome, and let your journey to soul expansion begin.
Hello, I can't believe I'm going live during Eclipse Week. I'm supposed to be resting and receiving, but this is just like flowing out of me. So we're going to talk about it. Quantum manifestation, identity level beliefs, and money. We are talking about all of these things today. And I think I felt called to talk about it because I was talking about it with one of my one-on-one clients. And I'm also kind of talking about all my stories. So we're just going to talk about it everywhere today. So a lot of people get confused about manifestation and they think that we actually don't know how to manifest. And the thing is, we do know how to manifest. We're actually at our core, we are perfect creators. We know how to create anything we ask for. Everything that you have in your life, you unconsciously created either from a toxic place, like a trauma response, which of course we don't want to be creating those things. And it's not our fault that we're creating those things. They're coming from trauma, or we're creating it from, an aligned place, right? And sometimes there are things outside of our control, things that the collective is manifesting that we, of course, cannot control. That can manifest in our lives as well. So of course, leaving room for things that are way outside of our control and not putting trauma as something that you are creating. But we are perfect creators, right? We do create what we ask for. So if we are creating from a state of trauma or from a state of not believing that we're worthy, then we're going to create things that are going to show up that way in our life, right? So it's not that we manifest the debt, but we have a part of us that believes that we are not worthy of not having the debt unless we have some other condition met, right? So we create these unconscious patterns of unworthiness or unconscious patterns of conditionality of around how money can come in, how money can come into our business, how money can come into our lives, what we have to be in order to receive money. We have all of these conditioned beliefs and trauma responses when it comes to money coming in that distorts the manifestation. So what can happen with this is you might ask for $10,000 months and you might create that, but it's not necessarily going to show up where you want it. It's going to be distorted. So maybe you'll make 10,000 and then you'll reinvest it right away because money doesn't feel safe to hold, right? So maybe the original intention with the $10,000 month was, okay, if I get this $10,000 month, then I'll have $2,000 extra that I can put toward my next investment. But maybe something happened and you're like, oh, I'm going to pay in full. And so you got rid of that money right away. And then you never gave your system a chance to actually hold more money. Why does this happen? Because there's a part of us that doesn't believe it's safe to hold on to that money. And so we're expert creators. We can create anything that we ask for. We actually can. We can create anything that we ask for. But what happens is because of our trauma, because of our conditioning, it gets distorted and it shows up in not the exact way that we want it to, right? And there's a lot of talk in manifestation circles around detached from the how and divine timing. And I actually don't even believe in those concepts anymore. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but I also think they kind of they kind of like enable the distorted creation to continue. And what do I mean by that? So detaching from the how is like I think the original intention with like detaching from the how was so you wouldn't feel like you have to control how things are happening. But I think some people use it as like a cop out for how money comes in, right? So for a while when I was playing with manifestation, money was coming in investments instead of my business in like much larger amounts. So I was still creating the 50K months that I was asking for, but it was happening in other areas of my financial portfolio. It wasn't coming in through my business, which is where I wanted it to come in. Why was that happening? Because there was an unconscious part of me that believed that money was not safe to come in through me directly. It had to come in through a man. And my investment portfolio that I have was originally started by my dad. Now, of course, it's my money, but it was started by my dad. He's the one that managed it, right? And so there was this, I was creating all of this money in this area where it felt safe to create money, but I wasn't creating the type of money I wanted in my business. So a lot of people would say in manifestation circles, oh, well, just detach from the how, be grateful for that. And I am grateful for that. And I also think in those situations, you have to start looking at why that's happening because there's something in there. There's an identity level belief that says it's not safe to receive money in your business or it's not safe to hold on to money. If you're noticing that you're receiving money and then you're reinvesting it right away, right? So what is the unconscious belief that is creating rules about how money can come in that is distorting your manifestations? Because here's what I wanted to get to, because when you start to heal those layers, then you don't have to detach from the how in the sense of like where the money comes in, right? We have these different buckets where we're like, oh, the money in my investment account, that doesn't count, right? Or the money over here, that doesn't count. And all the money counts. And of course we want our businesses to be like blowing up with profitable income, right? Like, of course we want that. So I don't think it's wrong to work with these rules that we have in our unconscious and to find out, okay, where am I distorting this manifestation? I'm still receiving the money somewhere. And maybe you're receiving the money in the form of abundance, in the form of gifts, in the form of, manifesting through your partner. How many of you are married and like you ask for like a $10,000 month and then your husband comes home and he's like, oh man, look at my stock. Look at my stock portfolio. We just made $10,000, right? Like that used to happen to me all the time. And of course I still want my husband to make a lot of money, but I used to like manifest through my husband because that's what felt safe in my body. I had this big core belief that money has to come in through men. And so if I just ignored that and just detached from the how, then I would never be able to stand in my power as a woman and attract the kind of money in my business that I wanted to. So that's my problem with detached from the how. And then the other part of this is divine timing. So I think divine timing is a hard lesson that has to be learned, but I also don't even really believe in it anymore. I think sometimes we use divine timing as like an excuse for like us to wrap our head around like, oh, well, we didn't like fuck up the manifestation, which at the end of the day, you can't fuck up the manifestation, but there is sometimes things that you need to explore that may be distorting what you're asking for. So you're always going to receive what you're asking for. But if you have these wounded childhood parts that have certain conditions for how things can manifest, until you work with those parts, you're going to get a lot of lessons in detached from the how and divine timing. So if you want to start to peel away those hard lessons that everyone in the manifestation space says that, oh, you have to learn this lesson. And I actually don't really believe them anymore. I mean, you do have to learn it in the beginning, but then over time, it's like that fades away, that like, it's almost like that limit starts to disappear because you realize, oh, it was actually like a childhood part of me that was distorting this manifestation. I don't actually have to wait. I don't actually need divine timing. I needed divine timing to get to this point now where I know that divine timing is a lesson, but I don't have to continue to like use that as the excuse, or like the reason, or like the way to like let go of the belief that the manifestation is possible for me. Because that's the problem I see with these two concepts. Yes, they're important. Yes, they help a lot of people. And we can't give all of our power away to detaching from the how and divine timing. Because if we do, we keep talking ourselves out of the manifestation, right?
One of my professional goals is to heal my entire generation. And I know that sounds like a big, hairy, audacious goal, but it's true. It's something that I think is my soul's calling. It's why I'm here. It's why I have my business. It's why I do the work that I do. And my first phase of starting to bring this healing to a bigger audience has been with the creation of the Soul Expansion membership. And you guys have heard me talk about it on the podcast. It's been, mentioned since the very beginning of this show. And I am just overwhelmed with joy and excitement as I look at the community and the membership that we've created. We have a private Slack community where our members are super active. They're supporting each other. They're helping each other through mindset blocks and energy blocks. And I pop in there once or twice a week to offer additional support to our members. And we have monthly live healings where everyone gets on the call, and the energy on these calls is just, it's magic. I mean, having this community live on a call every single month is something that lights my soul on fire. I mean, it gives me that taste of what it's going to be like as my company grows and as we expand to help people even beyond business owners, because the Soul Expansion membership is intended for entrepreneurs. So if you don't know what the Soul Expansion membership is, this is a vibrant community where we have a private Slack channel. There's 4 monthly healings, 3 are pre-recorded, 1 is live, and it's always on a business, mindset, or energetic theme. So we've covered topics like receiving, divine feminine energy, launching challenges. Future months, we're going to be covering things like releasing imposter syndrome, releasing comparison, millionaire mindset and energy, feeling deep embodied worthiness, embodying overflow. All of these things that we want to be able to step into, expand into, grow into, so that we can grow our income and impact without having to hustle or burn ourselves out or get into this trap of the wounded masculine. And this program's $111 per month. We kept it as affordable as we possibly could so that we could serve more people with this beautiful mission. And if you'd like to be a part of it, you can get started now at mysoulexpansion.com. Again, it's mysoulexpansion.com. And even though it is so affordable, it is still incredibly high impact. I mean, I've had more than one member tell me that after doing even just one healing in the Soul Expansion membership, they've been able to sign a client. Whereas before they joined, maybe they were getting stuck in traps of scarcity, or they weren't able to receive, or whatever it was. So this is not low quality healing. This is high quality stuff. We just are able to offer it for an affordable price because it is more self-paced and more community driven versus, private coaching. So we hope you'll join us, mysoulexpansion.com, and let's get back to the show.
So maybe you really want to make a 6-figure or 7-figure year, and maybe in your business, and maybe you make 6 figures with your corporate income and your business combined. Some people would say, hey, you made 6 figures detached from the how. That's amazing. And yes, you should be grateful for that. Yes, you should celebrate that. Yes, that's still so freaking amazing that you were able to create 6 figures in abundance, and explore why it didn't happen in the business. If you don't explore why it didn't happen in the business, then you're going to continue to get this result where it's like you're getting what you asked for, but it's not quite what you asked for, right? Because you wanted the 6 figures to come in the business. And the universe wants to give you what you asked for. So it's going to give you all the gifts. But if you have these conditional rules about how you can receive income, in your unconscious, in your body, in your soma, in your energetic system, well, then you're going to continue to get these conditional kind of like distorted manifestations. But at the end of the day, we are perfect creators. At the end of the day, we can manifest anything we ask for. At the end of the day, we are worthy of it all, the millions, the billions. Like, we are actually worthy of it all. At the end of the day, there is no time delay. And like, the universe here's something I started to realize. The universe actually is working on the manifestation before you even ask for it. If you're really in alignment, like, the universe has been building and creating things for you. And then it's like, when you ask for it, you could actually receive it the very next day. This has happened to me countless times where I'm like, oh yeah, I desire that. And then I actually do receive it the next day because I'm in such deep alignment and I don't have these conditional rules about how that specific thing can come into my life or into my business, right? So a big example with this is flight upgrades. I always get flight upgrades because I have no unconscious attachments to flight upgrades. It doesn't wound my inner child if I get a flight upgrade. It's just like a fun thing that I get like all the freaking time. I've gotten like 3 first class or business class flight upgrades this year for free. And like, some of them have been the most random manifestations where like they pushed me over to a different airline. And then that's how I got the business class flight upgrade. So quantum manifestation is real, and we don't necessarily have to attach to these rules of like detach from the how and divine timing if we start to understand how we are distorting the manifestation. And this happens the most in your business. This happens the most in your business because your business is your baby. A lot of us wrap up our identity in our businesses. And so the universe actually won't give you something that conflicts with your identity. If your identity says, I have to do in order to receive, that's the only way I can receive, you will never escape the struggle and the hustle. You will find ways to continue struggling and hustling until you break that pattern. Or if you don't heal that pattern, that will still distort the manifestation. So you'll ask for the 10K month, but the universe can't deliver it in your business directly because it doesn't feel safe to your identity. Like, if your identity was built on hustling, you have to heal that layer of yourself before you can get the easy flow of income in the business. Another way this can happen, I think I mentioned it earlier in this live, but since you guys are here now live, is how do you believe money can come in for you? If you don't believe money can come in just for your essence, just for your energy, then you have these conditional rules around how money can come in. And until you start to chip away at those conditional rules, yes, you're going to get what you're asking for, but it's not going to be in the way that you want it. And this is why, like, I'm kind of getting repetitive, but you're here live, so I want to like give you the value now. But this is why I don't like the rule, like, detach from the how. I understand the purpose and I understand the intention, but if we detach so much from the how that we don't explore why something is not coming in the way that we're asking for it, then we never get that clear channel for manifestation. Right? So you get everything you ask for. If it comes in a way that isn't exactly what you asked for, somewhere in your unconscious, there were conditions that forced it to come in that way. So I had a big thing with men and money. Money had to come in through a man after a certain threshold, right? I'm so glad I broke down that damn belief, right? Now I could be a woman who makes a lot of money and I don't need a man, even though I love my husband and I love my family and all the things, right? But that was a conditional belief that kept impacting how the manifestation was coming in. I manifested tens of thousands of dollars through my husband, through my father. Like, I manifested all of this money for other people in my life because I had this core belief, money can only come in through men. Until I broke down that belief, like, I could have detached from the how and looked at it as like, yay, I'm still manifesting the money. But that's not cool. I want the money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to come in through my husband. I want it to come in through me. I want to have that power. So you have to look at, if it's not happening how you're asking for it, what is the conditionality? What is the identity level belief that is preventing it from coming in how you're asking for it? Because you get exactly what you asked for. And so when you think about becoming like a quantum manifester, it's clearing that channel so you can be a clear channel for manifestation. So there is no distortion. So you don't have to depend on hustling to get money. So you don't have to depend on a man to get money. So you don't have to depend on people pleasing to get money. How many of you people please? How many of you lower your prices because you don't want to upset someone? Right? And maybe you get the manifestation, but then you are so drained. You're so exhausted. Your boundaries are so obliterated. Like, you could detach from the how and say, oh, I still made the money. But is that how you want to live the rest of your life? Or do you want to do the healing work to make yourself a clear channel for manifestation so you don't have to fuck with that people pleasing anymore? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? How many of you feel like you have to save your clients? And so you get into this codependent relationship with your clients where if they are not getting the results, then you see that as a reflection of you versus like whatever they're going through. And you start to make it all about you. And then you start to feel really unworthy. And then you can't attract new clients because you couldn't save those. So how could you possibly be worthy of more? Do you see how this starts to affect everything in your business? Like, we are so connected. We are like, our identity is so connected to our business that if we don't do the identity level work, we can't like become this clear channel for manifestation. Sure, we can hustle our way to 6 figures. Sure, we can hustle our way to 7 figures. Sure, we can burn ourselves out, ruin all our relationships, be miserable as fuck, people please our way to get to the top. But I don't want to do that. I want to do it the easy way. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not easy. You do have to do the healing work, but I would much rather do that work now to be this clear, pristine channel for manifestation for the rest of my fucking life. Right? Like, that's the power of healing your core wounds and healing these identity level beliefs that are distorting your manifestations. If you do that healing work, you become this clear channel for manifestation for the rest of your fucking life, and just imagine how abundant and beautiful that life will be for you. Am I right? So this is my passion. I love doing this type of work. Expansion Mastermind is enrolling now for female entrepreneurs who are ready for 6, multi-6 or 7-figure expansion. And you want to get there through the healing, the manifestation, creating this abundance in all areas of your life, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I do not want to hustle to 7 figures. My goal is to make 7 figures in 2022. I'm not going to hustle my way to get there. I am not available for 12-hour days to get me to 7 figures. I want to feel like a millionaire as I make $1 million. So how do you start to do that? You have to do the healing work so you can become that clear channel for manifestation. And then the world is your oyster. You become this quantum manifester. You become this force of nature, this creative force of nature who gets what she asks for, who doesn't have to detach from the how. Yeah, you can't control it, but you don't have to detach from the how to the point where you're like rejecting what you actually desire. Who doesn't have to depend on divine timing to the point where you're putting off your desire for a later date and a later date. But really what you're doing is you're deciding like, I'm not actually worthy of that yet, right? Like, that's the divine timing lesson that I feel like a lot of people kind of get trapped in. They're like, ooh, divine timing, or ooh, detach from the how. No, you are worthy of that thing that you're asking for right fucking now. How do we get you on board energetically to be able to see that in yourself? Expansion Mastermind, that's how. So send me a message if you want to learn more, or head to my stories. I'm going to be posting slides all about this program. But thank you for everyone who joined live. I'm so grateful to have you here. And if you're watching the replay, send me a DM. Let me know if you like this. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye now.
Thank you for honoring your soul's calling today and taking the time to listen to this episode of the Soul Expansion Podcast. If you have a question you'd like featured or have a topic idea, I would love to hear from you. Find me on Instagram at Kristen Kaczynski and send me a DM with your request. Remember, you are a truly limitless being. The limits you see now are only an illusion. Whatever it is that you desire, that's already yours. It already exists in the universe here and now. You simply have to awaken to what you already have. And I hope this episode brought you a little closer to that truth. If you love this episode and would like to give from your heart and appreciation, please take a few moments to screenshot it and tag me in your stories on Instagram, or write a brief review on your favorite podcast platform. Your voice truly matters, and your feedback helps to spread abundant expansion to a broader audience. And what a gift that is, right? Just think about how much abundance will come back to you if you help a friend experience their own soul expansion. And with that, I just want to say thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, I'm Kristen Kaczynski, and I love you.